And there's a lot of drama surrounding both situations. One very serious, involving some pretty serious felony charges against the Patriots wide receiver. That's obviously Trevon Diggs. And then Trevon Diggs, the Cowboys cornerback, who has been in a weird situation, Myron, with this team over the last 2 seasons, was released yesterday. So he signed a 5-year, $97 million contract extension in 2023, but he's only played in 21 games for Dallas since then because of knee injuries. And yesterday, we find out from ESPN's Todd Archer that with 1 game to play, the Dallas Cowboys decided that they are going to release Trevon Diggs. He is now subject to clear waivers. He wants to go play for a playoff team. Dallas is moving on without him. It's a really strange set of circumstances for why a player who claimed he was healthy this year, he talked to any reporter that would hear him out about it. He said he was healthy. Jerry Jones, the franchise, very publicly had said, we don't believe he's healthy. So, when you hear this news about it's very much a he said, they said sort of situation, how surprising was this for you?
Well, it's surprising because of the organization. I mean, it feels like a lot of things have to go wrong in order for the Cowboys, of all franchises, to say, nah, it's time for us to move on from you. I mean, it was a weird situation, right, where the injury had happened off the field. I believe, Courtney, was like at home, which was another part of this whole narrative for Trevon Diggs, the back and forth between whether or not he was healthy or he wasn't. I just want to know what we don't know at this point, like what's happening behind the scenes, because you just don't see teams getting rid of $90 million players who at his best, Trevon Diggs is a premier player in this league. So I just thought it was odd how it all went down.
So he played in that Washington game. He was active. I don't remember, honestly, how much he actually played in that game. I think he had 1 tackle. Did nothing spectacular, obviously. But that was the Week 17 game. And according to Trevon Diggs himself, he talked to a multitude of people about this yesterday. He says he was calling everybody. He wanted his side of the story out there. And he was claiming that he wanted to stay in the Washington, D.C. area. He's from Maryland. His brother, obviously, Stephon, played at Maryland. And, the family's out there. They played on a Thursday night game. He said, hey, is it okay if I stay? So, a lot of teams will, when you have the time off, which they did, will allow players to, have some sort of special arrangements there. Reportedly, the Dallas Cowboys said, no, you have to fly back with us. And that, at least the way that this is being positioned right now, that's it sounds like the last straw for a multitude of reasons. According to ESPN's Todd Archer, he was released, quote, due to a culmination of events, including performance. Now, he hasn't played much. I mean, the why it was actually done, the final straw, I think that's neither here nor there. This is a guy who from week 7 to week 15 was not playing. He was inactive because apparently he suffered a concussion away from the field. Like what you were mentioning was a report that came from NFL Network's Shane Slater that this mysterious concussion came because he was, mounting a TV in his home, and the TV fell apparently. I don't know. There's a lot of details here that just sound weird and messy, and just like the team, it makes it sound like the team wasn't on his side for this. Like it's very much coming across like it's like my version of it, the team's version of it. But this is somebody who says I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play on a playoff team. He will be subject to waivers. He's only 27 years old. He claims he's healthy. He will be trying to get on a team here in the next day or so, and I wouldn't be surprised. You need cornerback help. I mean, certainly at this time of the year for a playoff team. You think about defenses. I mean, hell, I think about the Chicago Bears. Not that they're seriously in the market there, but they're a team that's been super banged up in their secondary this year. Someone like that will end up on a team somewhere, no matter what the drama and the baggage and all of that, because you don't mess around with not having depth at this time of the year if you're a team that's trying to contend for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, and a guy that talented, like to your point, it feels like things got personal between Dallas and Trevon Diggs. It felt like they didn't believe his story. I mean, that's kind of the sense I got. Like they didn't fully believe that he was mounting a TV, and that's how the concussion happened. And if you're Trevon Diggs and your team doesn't really back you, that could create a lot of friction and animosity if they don't let you stay on the road to be with family. The question is, why wouldn't they? You know, is there stuff that's happened behind the scenes that made them feel like, nah, you better get back to to Dallas. Either way, to your point, there can be a lot of teams that see him and say, yes, we're making a playoff push, and you can add that dude for nothing. It's an easy thing to do, and I think most teams will pursue that.
Now, his brother, Trevon Diggs, the aforementioned New England Patriots wide receiver, this is a big story yesterday. It happened right around the time that we got off air here, around 10 a.m. Eastern time. He's facing a felony charge of strangulation and a misdemeanor charge of assault from an alleged incident that happened earlier this month on December 2nd. So a motion hearing took place Tuesday morning at the Dedham, Massachusetts District Court. So Diggs' arraignment is scheduled for January 23rd, which of course would be right in the middle of the postseason. That's the Friday before the AFC Championship game. Let's hear from Mike Reese, ESPN NFL Nation reporter who covers New England Patriots, on the allegations that came up against Trevon Diggs.
In a police report, the private chef that works for Trevon Diggs told authorities that she was texting with Diggs about money owed to her when Diggs entered the bedroom where she was staying at his residence. Diggs, she said, slapped her across the face, choked her, and then threw her onto the bed. You mentioned what the Patriots said, that Diggs informed them that he categorically denies these allegations and that the team supports Diggs.
So that was Mike Reese covering the Patriots, laying out like the ground, like just kind of the nuts and bolts of this story. And it's obviously a very serious story when a player faces strangulation and assault charges, one of which carries a felony with it. I was a little surprised that the team seemed to, they put out such a pretty strongly worded statement here that, you know, they're standing behind him in all of this. Not we're going to let the legal process play out, like we're going to see how this whole thing goes. Like they were like, we're backing our guy, more or less. And I'm obviously paraphrasing there. I understand that he categorically denies these allegations. That was a statement that was released through his lawyer. I was just a little surprised that the New England Patriots were so willing to jump out in front of it, because the legal process hasn't played out here, and you're going to have a receiver who's going to be playing through the postseason, dealing with all of this in the midst of an incredible run for the Patriots. It just seems like a lot of different things that are going to be floating over the situation.
Yeah, I mean, they're backing him right now, but you and I know that can change in a matter of hours if they get new information.
Yeah, and I'm sure the new information as this thing comes out, obviously, again, that arraignment is scheduled for January 23rd, the Friday before the AFC Championship game. A lot of time between now and then, but more information certainly will surface at some point. Coming up next, does Miami stand a chance in the CFP tonight against Ohio State? It's on Sportsman.